What is happening worldwide to each of us, and some of us more particularly, that is affecting the evolution of world consciousness? I would say that after millions of years of struggling with survival, our species has evolved in what we will call consciousness, going from an ego, from more of an ego conscious state to a more of an inner spirit conscious state. So, in less than 50 years, we have made gigantic leaps in technology. But our spiritual awareness was very archaic. Some even called it reptilian. Well, it's about time we catch up. And that is exactly what we're doing in this very historical moment. A number of pioneers, amazing people, have become more aware, creating a web, a new collective social consciousness. And when I think of collective consciousness, I think of the Matrix. The Matrix is often thought of as a negative collective force, some sort of powerful brainwashing Machiavellic system where each of us pass on to the other illusionary beliefs and programs, good and bad. For example, the Matrix can program in some such fears and pains, it can create disproportionate egos, which in turn might turn events into wars or the need for war. So this matrix does often come across as some sort of bad program that frightens each other. So this matrix does feel like it created a lot of stress and hatred and dysfunctional people in a dysfunctional society. However, the matrix itself is not a fatality, quite the opposite. Because the matrix can and is actually being transformed by our individual rise in consciousness, meaning a society where these programs are beginning to be softer, leading to a more harmonious matrix. So as our individual consciousness expands, so does that of the matrix, moving it positively. So if it was characterized by a lot of dark energy, that dark energy is only powerful when we are not enlightened. Once we have risen our level of energy, our vibration, to the best of ourselves individually, then we change our inner programs and we change the programs of the matrix. So I predict that this enlightenment, this age of enlightenment that we're tapping into, will feel like a mutation of our psychic. To some, it might even feel like a physical mutation. And this mutation is growing exponentially, transforming the world. And this is why it is so exciting to live in this time. Because we get to watch, feel, and be a part of the fall of our inner darkness and subsequently the darkness of the planet. Beings of consciousness, which we are becoming more and more, are like giving birth to this gigantic shift. So how do we do it? Some of you might not even relate to what I just said. Well, we are doing it. Because you have nothing to do. You just need to open up, to be more turned towards your inner self. And to any degree of that, you will transform yourself. Because finding your inner being makes everything clearer, puts you on a clear path. So you don't need to fix pains or old pains or your phobias and all these other negative programs. What you need is turn towards the inner being, and it takes care of showing you the path, discarding the programs that are unnecessary because they don't fit you, and healing you. This is your nature, the one you were born with. It is not very hard to feel it again, because it comes with so much feeling of beauty and excitement when you start to tap into it, when you start rediscovering your true desires, your creative powers, when you start feeling happy. It can turn into a sort of addiction, energetically. Awareness of this inner being is what cures and clears everything else. And as we each become aware of it, we make the matrix change positively. You'll feel it just by your immediate inner circle. I have a very a collaborator there that wants to sing and maybe teach about consciousness better than I can. But anyway, the teaching and use of consciousness, well, they seem to have reached a threshold in something that feels like a spiritual mass. It feels like as soon as this threshold is hit, or maybe it already has, it'll all be downhill. Meaning it'll all be easy. Let me explain. There are enough conscious individuals today that the accumulation of conscious energy is being amplified, and it's spreading by a phenomenon that I would say is like direct radiation from one individual to another, as if absorbed telepathically by one to the other receiving it, from inner being to inner being, inner spirit to inner spirit. People who have a wider range of consciousness are magnetic. wild animals around coming out too. So in essence, they are spreading this awareness, this happiness, this consciousness, sometimes without even noticing it. And of course, there's been the medias and the internet. So this is a very dynamic evolution. And I think I know it will affect the spirit of our descendants. It will affect beings on this earth forever. Because those who will come, those who will be born, will come into this awareness. They will not have forgotten their godliness. They will be connected to spirit from birth. And they will keep it throughout their lives. They will know peace with themselves and the world. They will act differently because they will feel empowered by their spirit in a very natural way. And our generation is creating the first of many future generations of conscious beings who will live in a world that is transformed with beauty, joy, and fulfillment. As for my own part, what am I doing here? Well, I will offer all that I feel to the extent that I can. And in the following videos, we will become very familiar with the consciousness that is within us, the inner spirit. This might take some focusing, for we need to explore our subconscious. You see, programs that are stopping us from seeing our inner being are in the subconscious. They're pain programs. So sometimes we will need to find old programs and bypass them. But once we are in touch with our spirit, most of the time, it will just reactivate the natural programs that should have been there in the first place. I won't be doing this. You alone know all you need. Your desires will come from your inner being. You will change your life yourself, and thus the lives of people around you and the world at large. It might take some consistency. It will take some consistency, because for many, the past programs have been a habit, and habits need to be removed. So every time they pop back up, we have to be conscious of them. But for most of us, the improvement that we will feel compared to those past programs will way outweigh any of this necessity to focus and be conscious and aware and to pursue the spiritual gold. So I will be inviting you to dig into that precious subconscious chest and we will get closer to the voice that resonates with who we are. Thank you for your presence.